Okay, I'm almost at the end.
And your
Almost
host...
at the end. Yes. Are you recording?
Yeah, it
Yes,
sounds like
yes, 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 yes. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
she
make
said.
it. Oh my God! Yes. And yes, it is what she said.
This sounds so wrong from my end.
Yes. Yes. And welcome to the latest episode of the Sonic Talk podcast. I am your host, Knuckles87, and with me today is none other than my partner, Jason Berry.
It's a wonder world full of wonder and stupid stuff.
And, what you just heard from me is me playing Sonic Lost World on the Wii U, and miraculously not dying. So, okay, I'm just going to complain for a moment.
Alright.
This is episode 24, and believe it or not...
This is our third recording.
The third time we've recorded episode 24 in the last...
like 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes. I mean, my God. And technically, we've also had 2 aborted recordings. To give you some perspective, that's 5 attempted shows that have been killed one way or another.
Yeah, the first one was me and you and Liddy.
Yes,
and that didn't come out at all. It got screwed up. I was coming out. It was like the Tracy Arley episode where my audio was coming out way ahead for some reason. And then on the second one, it was me, you, and Barry, and I just bought a $30 Skype recorder because I didn't want any screw-ups, and I accidentally had it on video and audio, so instead it just recorded video, and when I played it back, it was really slow.
Yeah, you were messing with that recording for like a week, and then it was just it couldn't do anything with it.
But I just couldn't. It was also cutting off pieces of audio where, for some reason, you would come in and I wouldn't, even though I'm the one recording, and I come in clear on my side.
And that really irritates me because I really liked our second take. I really liked it. And in addition to Liddy, in addition to Liddy and Barry, we also tried to have a show where we had N-Sega from SegaVix on, but that didn't work out either.
It was just the timing.
The timing just fell apart. And the timing also fell apart for episode 25, which we were trying to record while we were getting episode 24 together.
I mean, people think it's easy to put a podcast together, but it's really not. I mean, you got to have all your ducks in one row. Everyone's got to, come in at this all together, have the time to record a podcast. Plus, when you go to do audio to edit it afterwards, bad stuff can happen.
Yeah, and I don't even edit the podcast, and this has been a huge pain even for me because I've been trying to schedule this stuff in advance to ensure that we can have big shows. And so, what you're listening to right now is essentially our fuck it show. We don't care. We just don't care anymore. We just want to get episode 24 out, discuss the things that we want to discuss, and get to episode 25, which is going to be a big event, and we'll be discussing that later. And booyah! Just beat the boss.
Oh yeah, beating the boss in Lost World, that's really hard.
Oh, shut up. Thank God it was easy. Did you hear me as I rolled to victory at the end of that zone? That zone was hard as shit. And speaking of which, what we've been playing.
It's enjoyable, though.
What we've been playing lately, well, for me, as far as I'm concerned, lately is the last month. So these are all the games I've listed in our aborted recordings. Let's see, I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles, Gravity Rush, Pokemon Y,
I have Pokemon
Animal
Y
Crossing,
too, but I haven't touched it yet.
Code of Princess from Atlas. You should buy it. Let's see, what else?
By the way, my poor guys in Animal Crossing are going to be so lonely because it's going to be a long time before I get back to them.
Yeah, and in one version of this show, we discussed Animal Crossing at length, and yeah. So anyway, let's see, what else? I've also been playing lots of stuff on my Vita. In addition to Gravity Rush, I've been playing Dead or Alive 5 and Street Fighter X Tekken.
Is Dead or Alive 5 or Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate with the extra...
Dead or Alive 5
characters?
Plus. Ultimate's not on the Vita, unfortunately.
Okay.
I've also been playing on the 2DS, which I also talked about at length. And in short, it is shaped like a slice of cake. It plays like a Game Boy, and it's much more than you'd think it would be, and I enjoy it. And I bought the 2DS because I sent my 3DS in for repairs. And let's see.
It makes a nice high-tech doorstop.
It's also well made, so shush. But and finally, we've also been playing Sonic Lost World on the Wii U and 3DS. Yeah, it just came out, and of course, we won't be discussing much of it because episode 24 is never meant to be about Sonic Lost World. It was meant to be about other big news. So we'll be saving most of our Lost World discussion for episode 25.
Yeah, because that's our big 25th.
Yes, that is our
and we're going to try to get Aaron Weber for the show.
Oh, we got Aaron Weber for the show, but we'll be discussing that later. So anyway, so Lost World. I will say in short, the Wii U version is great. The 3DS version is decent. The 3DS version has moments of brilliance and moments of mediocrity. But it's also the most fun I've had with a DIMPS game since Sonic Rush Adventure. So
personally, I think they did a much better job on the 3D parts of the games than the 2D parts.
Yeah, the 3D stages are very enjoyable. The 2D stages tend to be hit and miss. Well, okay. Well, in 3D stages, we also had that one fruit stage. But anyway, I'm trying not to go into detail here.
Right. But I actually enjoyed Lost World on Wii U more than I was expecting after hearing all those reviews.
Yeah, usually when the reviews are like this, I at least kind of feel like a game like I feel about Sonic Unleashed, a good game that has lots of flaws, but still has some really fun moments. But with this version, I've yet to really find a moment where I'm thinking, yeah, this is a very mediocre stage. I've yet to have that moment.
I did find one, but that's the one I don't think you've gotten to yet, because you're still in the tropical resort, right? Oh no, you're in.
I'm in Frozen Factory. I just
is there a level that has question marks?
Lots of levels have question marks.
No, I mean ones you start with. It's in like it might have been Silent Forest or something that said Silent Forest question. It's basically you're playing as Sonic. You're flying upside down.
Oh, wait a moment. That was a special stage. Okay, yes.
I hate the controls on that. It's horrible.
Yeah, the controls in that stage are terrible, but it's also an extra stage. You don't need to play it, so I don't care.
But that's the only level where I felt the design was lacking or poor.
Yeah.
Everything else I've really enjoyed. Even the hard levels I'm having fun with.
Well, I am digging the hard levels. It has been a long time since I've had this kind of rush in a Sonic game where it's like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. I mean, I'm sure Jason kept the recording of me screaming at the beginning of this podcast. That was me finishing Frozen Factory Zone 2 after losing 13 lives. And I was really, really happy. I had accomplished something. So I'm not sure where the 5s are coming from. I can kind of see where the 7s are coming from, but then again, I haven't read the reviews. I try not to read.
I would read Jim Sterling's review. I think he was
I've
very
heard Jim
fair.
Sterling gives a very interesting opinion.
Yeah, he's very fair on it. At first, he didn't like it, but then as he got used to the controls, he enjoyed it more and more. And he said, yeah, that it's got its fair share of problems, but he thinks that they should keep going with this kind of style for the future Sonic games.
To me, this is kind of like Sonic Unleashed, but much better than Sonic Unleashed, but still Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, because Unleashed was the beginning of like the era where they did the boost forward and everything.
Yeah. It introduced lots of new ideas.
Yeah, lots of new ideas, and of course the Werehog didn't stick, but the the daytime Sonic stages were excellent, and
they polished them over the course of 2 games, until we got Sonic Generations, which was really a great version of that kind of game, and it got great reviews. And Lost World, I hope they stick with this mode of gameplay for a long time, because it has a lot of potential, especially if Sonic Team can really master the level design. But anyway,
a really good era for Sonic games right now. I call it the Orbot era because Orbot was introduced in Sonic Unleashed, and he's been in pretty much every game since, or at least a cameo in Generations.
Yeah,
and that's when the quality started to really improve.
Orbot Generation. That's I'd kind of want to call it the Azuka generation, but even though technically Azuka also did do Shadow the Hedgehog, but this is where this was. It was with these Sonic Unleashed that he really took charge and start pushing the series in the right direction.
Yeah.
So,
let's not go too much into that now. We'll save that for the next.
Believe it or not, we've only scratched the surface in regards to our discussion, people. So,
yeah, and I've been
tune in for episode 25 for the rest.
I've been playing
unless it fails to record.
Right, and then it's like, oh god, not again. Anyway, I've been playing a little bit of Batman Arkham Origins on the 360.
Oh yeah, I've also been playing Arkham Origins on the 3DS. Sorry, go on.
And it's pretty much more of the same as far as Batman goes, so I haven't gotten too far into it. I just reached the Penguin, but
I hear people say that like it's a bad thing.
No, there are some minor improvements, I think, to the formula. There's some stuff they did that works better, I think. And I do like more of the same, but I just finished Arkham, the Armored Edition of Arkham City a few months back, so I'm a little, what do they call that, franchise fatigued, I think. But
well, for me, it's been a while since I've played an Arkham game. At least,
have you gotten to the first assassin yet, the number 10, the Electrocutioner?
Well, like I said, I've only played the 3DS version. Like I told you in private, I've only played the 3DS version so far because I left the Wii U version.
Okay, because there is one great moment there that I ended up busting out laughing.
I'm really looking forward to Arkham Origins because really that's probably my favorite superhero franchise.
And it also has Roger Craig Smith as the leading character.
I'm not particularly happy about that because
he sounds really good. He's basically.
I'm sure he sounds great. He's Roger Craig Smith. He sounds great in almost every role.
Yeah, sounds like a gritty version of what's his name?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. Yeah, he sounds like a bit of a gritty version of Kevin Conroy.
But for me, Kevin Conroy,
be a younger, grittier Batman who's a little bit more aggressive.
Kevin Conroy has been Batman for me pretty much since I was a little kid, so I miss him.
Yeah, and I broke down. I was gonna wait for the PS4 version, but I couldn't wait anymore, and I broke down and got Skylander Swap Force on the Wii U, and wow, is this an improvement over the last two? They got a brand new HD graphics engine. It looks like a next gen game even on the regular console.
I thought that you liked
really wonderful lighting and CGI effects. There are certain cutscenes where you're on the ground and the character's talking to you. If you look at the background, you can see some artificial shadows, so you could tell it's actually in-game engine. And I thought, wow, because it looked for a minute like a CGI cutscene, but then it also can cut away. The lighting is really incredible. But yeah, normally I was kind of I was about to leave the franchise after Giants because Giants was kind of boring. It's just basically large Skylanders that move slow, but they had Vicarious Visions take over the franchise this time. And they did some great improvements with Swap Force. Not only can they jump now, it's an actual platformer this time, and not just moving around slowly and then attacking enemies.
Huh.
But the swap thing to it actually has quite a bit of strategy to it, because their bottom parts also have offensive, defensive powers, the same as their top parts. So what you could do is, if you want somebody who has both long range and short range attacks, I can take like a Rattle Shake here and combine them with Washbuckler and make Rattle Buckler. Now he's got tentacles which he can attack with, plus he's got a gun that he could shoot with.
Well, as I say every time we discuss these kinds of games, I'd get it if I didn't have to fill my closet with toys.
Yeah, you know what? It makes me regret owning Disney Infinity, though, because that Disney Infinity is not anywhere close to Skylanders in terms of gameplay. The problem is they have all these franchise characters in their own separate games, and you can't mix and match characters in that game. Like if you play The Incredibles, or if you can play Toy Story, you can only play Toy Story characters or Incredible characters.
Really?
The only time they mix and match is if you're playing in the Toy Box mode, where you can create your own levels and such. And there's a lot of available levels to download too, where you can mix and match there.
That would seem to defeat the purpose of Disney Infinity to me. If you can't mix and match everything.
You can only mix and match in the creation mode, which sounds crazy. So there's a lot of characters that don't have their own franchise games. Like they got Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope coming out, I think later in November, and they can't play in any other mode except for where you create. Like my Jack Skellington is only for creation mode. Plus, the one thing that ticks me off is they have these power discs, which are basically unlockables for the creation mode, and you have to pay $5 for 2 discs for, and it's kind of a ripoff, especially compared to Skylanders. Disney Infinity is a bit of a ripoff. And that's my 2 cents on what I've been playing, I guess. Oh, and Phoenix and Ace Attorney, which is all.
Oh yes,
I love that series. It's my absolute favorite 3DS series.
So anyway, on to news. Sonic Boom. It exists.
Sonic
Boom. Oh my God! I'm going to strangle you. Shush. It is 2 a.m. where I am, man. But yeah, Sonic Boom. It exists. TSSZ. They are the ones who reported it. They were correct. There, I gave them their props. In any case, yeah, it sounds interesting. I've discussed this show so many damn times.
Yeah, so now we gotta discuss it again.
I'm tired.
Basically, the format is 2 11-minute episodes, and they're more comedy-based than anything. Kind of like regular show or Adventure Time is.
But this one has them blowing up robots, so hopefully there'll be some action in there too.
Yeah, but it's got Mike Pollock as Dr. Eggman, and the main focus is on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy.
You know, they should have Mike Pollock voice everybody.
So if you're looking for Shadow and Blaze, you might be disappointed with this.
I don't know.
But who knows? They might have little cameos and stuff.
Shadow could be great in a comedy, I think.
The most controversial things is they showed their silhouettes, and there are some character design changes.
Redesigned. Well, they're all redesigned. Knuckles is majorly redesigned, and I'm a Knuckles fan.
I can't tell on Tails and Amy. Tails and Amy's shadows look exactly the same. Sonic looks like he's wearing like a vest.
Yeah.
And Knuckles looks really big and buff.
He is big and buff. He reminds me of the Tasmanian Tiger guy from
I like to call him Schwarzenegger.
Yes, I know. He was your governor for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and of course, Knuckles has fingers now, which, as a Knuckles fan, I do not mind. It would make sense that he has fingers, and that he would wear gloves, because, boxing gloves are not really the best way to handle anything, pretty much. It's They're actually pretty cumbersome. They're good for punching, but not much else.
I wonder if Knuckles and Amy being in Lost World has to do not less with the story and more that they want to get those characters more recognized for when this show comes on the air next year.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I need to get into this discussion because I just feel so fatigued when it comes to Sonic Talk discussion at this point because we've had so many failed shows.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, when we first discussed this, like a month ago or something, you were not so keen on the idea of Sonic Boom, on the idea of an 11-minute CGI comedy.
Yeah, well, no, I was a little worried about it. I mean, that's one of those initial reactions where you kind of panic about it, like, oh my God, is it gonna suck? Is it gonna be any good?
Yeah.
Now I'm more on a wait and see thing.
That's pretty much where I have always been in regards to the show. As action animation in general has been struggling lately, so it's probably for the best that this is not in the same that this is not an action cartoon in and of itself, because Cartoon Network just keeps canceling those things left and right because they don't bring in the toy revenue anymore. You know, they just, aside from Ben 10 and pretty
Ben
much
10's
just
still
Ben
around,
10
huh?
now. Huh? What'd you say?
Ben 10
yeah,
is
Ben
still
10
around.
is still around, and that's the only action show that Cartoon Network's really been pushing anymore. It's that and Batman. Beware the Batman.
Oh, that looks. Most Batman fans barely know that exists.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it just looks like crap. I mean, they got Alfred looking like
as a matter of fact,
thug.
it's gotten better. I watched episodes 10 and 11 recently, and it's actually improved quite a bit. At the very least, it's better than the Batman from the mid-2000s. It's still no Bruce Timm, and it's no Brave and the Bold, which is like the best Batman show ever made.
I love the Brave and the Bold.
But it's good.
I don't care how goofy it was.
Oh, I love the goofiness. Oh, I miss the goofiness.
They had so many rare DC Comics characters.
But
that's what I loved about it.
But yeah, these shows just don't do very well. So if it was an action show, it probably would have failed miserably. So I just hope that it's well written. I wish Ian Flynn were in on this because he does a great comedy with Sonic. But hopefully they have a good creative team on here. I mean, if they don't and it sucks, oh well. I'm sure it'll still be better than Sonic Underground and Sonic X. But I guess we'll see how good this is. Now. Yeah. I
think if they get Orbot and Cubot in there, that would help too.
Oh, yeah, that would help. Really, so long as they have Eggman. Eggman is probably one of my favorite characters in the franchise at this point, because he does have quite a bit of personality. I think it's mostly because of Mike Pollock. He's a great voice actor, and when he isn't under the thumb of 4Kids, he does great work. Now, I make sure to give TSSZ its props earlier for the story that they broke, but I've also got to give them a bit of scorn, because now, of course, Sonic Lost World had pre-order bonuses. I mean, I'm sure we've all received them by now, except for some people in Canada apparently who have been having difficulties getting those pre-order bonuses. But Amazon was offering a pre-order bonus of 25 extra lives. And Kotaku picked up the story and said, and claimed in their usual sensational fashion that Sega is making people pay for Sonic's extra lives, which, of course, is complete bull hockey. And Aaron Weber went on to point out that we're not doing that, and we will never do that. And then Kotaku and TSSZ pointed out Sonic Dash, and TSSZ pointed out, in addition to Kotaku, Sonic Dash. You pay for lives in that game. Aaron Weber went on to point out that, well, no, you don't. You can get lives for free in that game too. We don't make you pay for lives in any game. including that. And plus, that's a freemium game anyway. And TSSZ even admits that, yes, it's semantics, but still, you are still making people, you are still charging people for extra lives. They admit in the story that it's semantics, that they themselves explain why it's stupid and that they're even reporting this story, and yet they report it anyway. And TSSZ has been doing this lately. Phantasy Star Online 2, they use anonymous sources and conjecture to claim that Phantasy Star Online 2 is probably not coming to America. And do they go to Sega? Do they get a quote from Sega? No, because that would actually interfere with their narrative that they're trying to create. Phantasy Star Online 2, I'd like to let you all know, it's still coming. I contacted Kelly Parker myself. She said, it's still coming, we just don't know when yet, or we can't tell you yet. And I reported that on SegaBix. TSSZ did not pick that up, of course. And, yeah, and it's this kind of story, it's these kinds of stories that really bug me from TSSZ. I mean, they can do great work, and they do occasionally break a story, but they also often break rumors and conjecture and try to run with it like it's a real serious thing, when it so often isn't. So, I will also give them props for doing great work on the Ken Penders case.
Yeah, they've been really doing good in that. Although and Ken Penders has actually been reporting on a lot on Twitter, have you as well. Did you listen to the audio recording of the recent case?
No.
It's actually pretty good because the judge has both a good sense of humor and he's kind of like out there.
Interesting. You'd have to be out there for this kind of case. So, has it been confirmed yet that we're never getting those Penders characters back?
Probably. It's not looking good for his Sega EA case the way it was looking good for his Archie case right now. But he could still appeal, because I guess what happened was Ken Penders was like appealing something before his other case was even finished. Mm-hmm. It was like a big no-no, so the judge wasn't too happy about it. Anyway,
we're kind of going off track here.
Yeah, we are. But I mean, it's.
I'll be bitching about Ken Penders during our comic section, but so yeah, I gave TSSZ some additional props, but by and large, that's what I really dislike about that website. I really wish they would lay off the sensationalist nonsense and the rumors. Of course, to be fair, Sonic Stadium did also report its own rumor that turned out to not be true, but we did make sure to note in the title and throughout the piece that it was a rumor. And, take it with a grain of salt and all that jazz. Because what you're supposed to do. Anyway. So I guess that's my one-man rant on TSSZ and the 25 Lives debacle, unless you want to add anything, Jason.
No, pretty much good. I'd like to report that I'm on Frozen Factory Part 1 on 3DS, and it's actually pretty darn good right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you it was awesome, man. Anyway, snowboarding level. So, Sonic Dash updates. Level.
It's actually controllable, nice snowboarding for a change.
Yeah, I know.
Like I said before, the 3D when they're doing the 3D levels, they're actually pretty good.
So, Sonic Dash updates. Now, this has largely been your game, I think. I started playing it again recently.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been updated for a little while. I mean, they've been doing updates here and there, I think, but I've been recently started playing after the last update, and I noticed how much it's improved.
Yeah, it's a lot better now. It's a lot of fun, and those red rings are actually pretty damn easy to get.
Yeah, as long as you're playing it daily, you can get the daily rewards and get your red rings that way, and it works out well.
Yeah, so this was another game I was playing recently and over the last month, and I managed to unlock Blaze and Knuckles, which was awesome. But of course, after I did that, I stopped playing again. I haven't touched it in about a week and a half because I prefer gaming on my Vita and my 3DS.
I actually like this Electric Wisp, by the way.
Oh yeah, Electric Wisp is really fun. It's probably my favorite Wisp between either game so far. So, don't have much to say on Sonic Dash this time, huh?
Well, yeah, like I said, when I first played it, they had so many things wrong with it. You couldn't get any red rings hardly. I think some areas it was just required for red rings. You just almost had to buy them to get to progress any.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done a really good job about being fair with that for a free-to-play game. So as long as you take your time to it, you can unlock everything as long as you take a long time. You don't have to be impatient and buy anything. But then some of this bonus stuff they do have for sale is fair, like getting double rings or when you play every time, or getting an extra continue when you play every time. Those kind of things are okay.
So,
like I said, I've been playing. I was playing it for a while daily. That's how I got Blaze for free, and it's got an extra level now, better frame rate, a better draw distance. I can actually see when the obstacles are coming. So if I die, it's my fault and not the game. So it's just a much better game all around, basically.
So we're going to take a little break. Frozen. We're going to be playing a song from Sonic Lost World. One of my favorites. Frozen Factory Act 2 from the Wii U. Now, you can find it on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure that they'll be selling a soundtrack soon enough. So, hope you enjoy it. So Mario and Sonic.
Sonic and Mario.
Now, originally, when we threw this into the show notes, it was right after the Nintendo Direct, and they had revealed a release date of November 15th for America, and it will also be getting a light blue Wii remote. Of course,
it'll come out the same day as PlayStation 4, so ain't again.
Yeah, Sonic Lost World came out the same day as Assassin's Creed Battlefield 4,
and Pac-Man game, Angry Birds Star Wars game, and like 5 other games that came out the same day as Lost World.
And Mario and Sonic is coming out the same day as the freaking PS4.
Well, there's nothing much you can do with November because all the big stuff's coming up at once. There's no safe place to launch your game there.
But, so yeah, there's really not much more we can say about that. In the last two shows, we didn't say much, but this time I can say that I will be reviewing the Wii U version of the game for Mario for Sega Bits. So
yeah, I believe there's a $50 version and there's a $60 version that comes with a blue Wiimote.
Yeah.
And I could say, if you want to try out the game, the Wii U kiosks have been updated, have a demo of that game, as well as Sonic Lost World and some other games.
I might do a little preview of that using the Wii U kiosks for one for either Sonic Stadium or Sega Bits then. Okay, so but I will say,
yeah, and I played the what do they call that? The snowboarding level as Sonic. And you had to do the LR buttons for tight turns. You use the gamepad to steer, and that was actually really good. The controls are really tight in that.
What I've played, the game is actually pretty fun.
But it's just a bunch of mini games, so there's not a lot of depth to it. It's not going to keep your attention for that long.
Yeah, I've always been pretty cool on the whole Mario and Sonic thing. At least ever since the first one. I mean, the first one I bought with some excitement, but
yeah. But after that, it's like we don't see too many Sonic fans that oh my God, the new Sonic and Mario's coming out, I can't wait.
That's because they never really do anything all that interesting with it. But, from what this one has an online mode, which, of course, the new Mario game won't be having an online mode, so I guess there's that.
From what I understand, you can only play as your Mii characters in online, though?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't heard that. But at the very least, the three events we played at E3 were pretty fun. And we both really enjoyed that's essentially that Olympics transformed racing mini game, which had you transforming between skis.
I remember that. That was pretty good.
And the bobsledding. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I'm not really expecting much from this. But I just hope that I can give the game a C. But but we'll see. I just hope it's fun. And there's really not much else for me to say. So and speaking of Sonic crossing over with other things, Sonic is in Smash Brothers again!
This is the third time we've mentioned it.
Yes, this is the first time I squealed it, though this is probably the worst because I'm fucking tired of squealing it. But yes, he's in it. He's going to kick Mega Man's little blue tushy.
The worlds will collide.
Worlds will collide. We can reenact the Sonic and Mega Man fight as much as we want and have Sonic pound Mega Man into the ground. And also Mario 2. We can have a little one-on-one or one-on-one free-for-all or something like that. But, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it wasn't much of a surprise, but it's still cool. And I'm hoping that they'll make Sonic a bit stronger in this, because in the original Brawl, he was pretty weak. It was really hard to knock anyone out with him, and so
I hope it's not as hard to unlock him where you have to finish the entire story mode in that.
Well, yeah, but Sonic's less of a big deal now because he's a returning character, and so hopefully he'll be more integrated into the game. So, that's that, and Sonic Boom West. That also happened.
That happened. The U.S. West Coast chapter last September 14th, and I attended that. It was just a small, meeting group of Sonic fans that were in that area, and we all got together, and there was basically a poster they gave out supported by the Sonic Show. And what was it? It was a poster. There was a piece of paper for a download of a Crush 40 live at a Summer of Sonic concert album. And there was something else too. And Basically, it was nice. It was just a small gathering, but it was nice to see so many people, and I made quite a few friends on that. And now it's changing on the Facebook, where it's now Sonic Revolution, and I'll tell you all about it right at this break, where I talked to me and Lidice Garcia, who's one of my new friends, and you'll hear what we have to say about that. Hello, folks. This is the little interview portion of our show that we mentioned earlier. I'm talking with Lidice Garcia, otherwise known as Lidice Garcia. Lidice is right? Or Lidice?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But also my internet name is Angelidia, so.
Alrighty, Angelidia. Now, both of us went to what's called the Sonic Boom U.S. West chapter. That was back on the 14th of September. That was actually about a month ago now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and that was a nice little event. I mean, there's only about 15 people there, but it was a small group, and we got to meet a lot of interesting Sonic fans, and that was a lot of fun. There were little goodies to be handed out. They had a trivia contest. Bishop was there in her Metal Sonic cosplay outfit. I guess she got first place in the actual Sonic Boom in August of 2013.
Yes, that's correct.
Anyway, but now we have Sonic Revolution, which you can find on sonic-revolution.net. And can you tell everybody about that?
Okay. It's more than just a Sonic Revolution event for a convention event. It's also a way of how to bring together people from all over the 50 states. Right now we have around 23 states for a Sonic Social, which is run by Tanner and the rest of us. It also helps people to create meetups in their own state area. And once we figure out how many people are willing to go there, so we'll create a convention type event here in Southern California.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we have a Sonic SoCal meetup coming up in January.
Yes, in January, over there at the Johnny's pizza place.
Right, and that's the Johnny. What's his last name? Giovanni.
Gialli.
Yeah. From who's the lead singer of Crush 40. He has his own little pizza place out there in Newport Beach. And so basically, if you want to find a social gathering for Sonic fans in your area, the best place to go is www.facebook.com/sonicrevolt, or the website I gave you guys, sonic-revolution.net, and you can find out if there's a group gathering in your area, or I guess create one. That's possible.
Yeah.
So, how did you enjoy our first little get-together last month?
It was great. I really enjoyed it. It's like I never thought we could actually make this possible, because in the past few years, right after the first physical convention of Summer Sonic, I always wanted to do some sort of gathering. The thing is that I had no way to get connected to people and those kind of things. The same thing happened to Shane. She wanted to do the same thing as Summer of Sonic, but nobody could back her up. So we both got together and started this event.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate having you talk to us.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was recorded a little while ago. Pretty much the only thing from the last version of episode 24 that actually went well. So yeah, that's Sonic Revolution. Now we have Sonic. Now, of course, this is episode 24. obviously. And we have episode 25 coming up. And I want to do something special for that. We want to do something special for episode 25. That's our landmark, our landmark 25th episode. And so we're trying to do some crazy stuff here. We want to have 3 guests. We want to have GX Echidna, who, of course, is our most common guest until recently. We want to have Corey Holmes, who was our first guest. And we want to have Ben, who was going to be in an episode of 24, but before that got aborted. And Ben is from Sega Bix. He's one of our co-writers. He's also known as Eng Sega or Shadow Legends, and he and I go way back. We're sort of, I guess, we're pretty much friends. We get along, but we do argue. We would argue a lot on the Sega forums. So it's gonna be nice having him on board for this episode. And we're guys going to be discussing Sonic Lost Worlds between us, except for Corey. He's just he doesn't have a Wii U, so he'll just be chiming in when he can, I guess. And we'll also be discussing Sonic Boom again and some other big news items. And hopefully, if things go well, if this episode is successfully recorded, and if the next episode is successfully recorded, the next episode of Sonic Talk will be up a week from now. Now, in addition to having 3 guests, we'll also be having an interview with Aaron Weber. We've already got this confirmed. We've sent in the questions. We should be able to do this very soon. That should go well. We'll have that for you in that episode at the end. And we'll be talking to him about various things regarding recent Sonic news. Not the Sonic Boom cartoon, because that isn't really his thing. He doesn't know much about that, but we'll be discussing various things about the Sonic games and the Sonic franchise. And we'll also be giving away 5, or probably around 5, free Rhythm Thief download codes. So if you have a 3DS and you want a free digital copy of Rhythm Thief, listen in. We'll be to win one of those download codes in the show. So that's episode 25. We hope it'll be awesome. We hope you'll tune in. And we hope that episode 25 will go much better than episode 24 did. Because we're recording this thing at 3 a.m. at night. I'm tired, and I'm tired of talking about all this stuff.
We might have to call this one 3rd time's the charm if it goes.
So yeah, that's episode 25, and so now let's move on to Comic Talk. Now, since we last did a show and had 2 failed shows, we've had 4 or 5 comics come out between Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Universe. So
pretty much.
Let's talk about Sonic Universe first. Now, Treasure Team Tango.
No, it's Pirate Plunder.
Whatever, Pirate Plunder Panic.
Yarr.
I'm really digging that arc.
Yeah.
Mostly because it doesn't make me think, oh shit, the Ken Penders case has completely fucked this universe up.
No, it just feels like a regular, typical.
Yeah, it feels like a regular story. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, and now the last time we recorded this show, I was talking about how Ian Flynn really knows how to make a fun story. And then Jason corrected me and said, no, actually, this was Tracy Yarley. Yeah, and that speaks volumes of how awesome Tracy Yarley has become as a writer. Because
I think this is the best one yet, by far.
This is easily his best story. This is top tier quality for the comic in general. Ian Flynn or not.
Sorry, I'm still on that Frozen Factory Man. That is a long level.
Yeah.
I'm on a snowboard again.
You're near the end, though. You're almost there. But you're going to die a lot. So, you ready? So, Treasure Pirate Plunder Panic. Now, 3 issues that we have to discuss. We're not going to discuss this in depth because I'm tired, and we've done this like 3 times now. So I will say
Metal
that
Sonic that Marine destroyed is back, except he's just a little
Metal
chunk
Sonic
left
is back.
called,
Whiskers is
Metal.
back.
He's a pirate now.
Johnny is back.
As of the 3rd arc, Johnny and Captain Whiskers are there.
Yeah,
and they do
as
admit
of the 3rd
working
issue.
for Eggman Nega, so he can mention Nega, but he just can't use him right now. It's just funny.
Yeah, hopefully soon he can, especially with some of the things Sega's been pulling lately. And of course, Marine is back, and Marine is as fun as ever, and Bean and Bark are back, and they are as fun as ever.
I gotta give Tracy Yardley props on Marine's dialogue.
Oh, God,
That's
yes!
hard to do. And he does it really well, and he found some Australian dialect that a lot of people haven't used in a long time, and somebody gave him props for it.
I do kind of wonder if maybe Ian Flynn helped him out a bit, because that's one of the major reasons why I couldn't tell the difference between this story and Ian Flynn's story, because Marine's character and dialogue is just spot on. He just nailed it.
And Beanon is just as crazy as ever.
Oh, God. I do think that Bean is probably a little more sane than I think he has been in the past, and I think the shiny joke is probably being taken a little too far in this arc.
Well,
but
they have to kind of do that so he'll switch sides, because he'll switch sides on a whim, but they need to give him a reason to.
But yes,
I love that little bit though. He goes, "Hello, I got the captain's hat," and then Blaze just sets fire to the hat. I love seeing the little smirk on her face, because she usually doesn't smile too much. She's usually very serious.
And what I really enjoy about this is that this is a Blaze story, and Blaze is the best Sonic character since Knuckles.
I agree with that. I absolutely love her character, and Tracy does a great job with her in this. She's like under stress. She's trying to do her best, but she's trying to stay focused. She blames herself a lot. She loses her temper real easy.
And that is exactly the kind of person she is supposed to be.
She's a very three-dimensional character for a Sonic character.
Like, I hesitate to call Knuckles three-dimensional. Really, he's just gullible. But she's the most three-dimensional character that the Sonic franchise has gotten. I guess pretty much ever since, again, Knuckles was just gullible, and I don't know what you'd call Shadow. I guess he had a dark past. I don't know. I wouldn't really call him three-dimensional either, because he was just driven by revenge.
And I like how we have a good explanation of how Blaze's world works now. It's mostly water. There are robot pirates in her world, and regular pirates, I guess, as well. And it's just a lot of koala characters and what have you.
And it's nice seeing Cream and Marine interact, because they're both roughly the same age, and yet Marine is the exact opposite of Cream, and so
Cream is very cautious. She's wants to hide from danger, doesn't want to get involved too much. While Marine will just jump out and attack anybody, even if they're way more powerful than she is.
And Amy is pretty much the parent. She's chaperoning this whole thing. Which, again, I'm not used to her being in that role, but it fits because she has become more mature over the course of the comic.
I kind of like those sprockets, too, that they added to the... Those are kind of neat.
You mean the little robot natives?
Yeah, the little natives of the island.
Those bug me.
Really?
Yeah, because how can you have robot natives? Who built them? Why do they talk like that?
How can you have robot pirates? You don't know who.
Because someone built robot pirates to pillage things and wreck things.
If there's a huge population of robots all over the place, they're either self-manufactured or there's just a lot of scientists who love robots on that planet.
Isn't it implied that Metal Sonic was found by someone and refitted and rebuilt?
It was by some old scientist who rebuilt him, and they paid the price by Captain Metal destroying him.
So there are just mad scientists running around in the open ocean building robot pirates. So there's your explanation. Now, what mad scientist is walking around building robot natives? That's my question. What would be the point in that?
Why do you go into this much detail? This is a story starring a talking cat.
I know.
That has fire powers and can fly through her fire powers.
I'm trying to learn to be more critical literature, and so these things come up in my mind now. I just don't accept them. They bug me a little. I mean, I understand why they're there with the whole narrative of pirates and deserted islands and natives and all that. So it makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to me because who would make those things?
Really?
But in the end, it doesn't really matter because
I just accepted it like I accepted like in the Sonic Mega Man crossover that Mega Man trying to steal the roboticized master's powers instantly de-roboticizes them, and he steals a skill of theirs. And that only makes sense in video game logic, so you just
but Mega Man is a video game, so I gave that a pass.
Yeah, you gotta let it pass because it's
this is not logic. But these things are not from video games.
These are fly by just spinning his two tails. That makes no sense.
Quiet, shut up. So we're really digging this. Now, of course, the other story that. At first, when I was reading it, it gave me a stomach ache. I was
very cautious when the 252 and 253.
Because I hate reboots. The 52 reboot pretty much wrecked the DC universe for me. I have had lots of difficulties getting into that new universe. One More Day wrecked Spider-Man for me because it completely disregarded everything I had been reading because I only picked up in the last few years, and they just swept away all of that. So I hate reboots. But the more I read this, the more I don't mind this so much because it's not really a full reboot. Now, we'll see where things end up.
What has been rebooted is starting to make me enjoy it more. I just read 254 today, and I really enjoyed where it was going.
I like the world. It feels, everything about it feels, more solidified. Because of course, Archie with the old world, you had a hodgepodge of all these things from all these different writers that you had to fit together.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. You had a big backstory to go through, and a lot of that backstory can now be. I've been reading this comic. I've been reading this comic since I was 1995, 87, 8 years old, roughly 7 or 8 years old. Actually 8. I just turned 8. So, I stopped when the comic was getting really, really stupid, like when the characters went to high when the Ken Penders and Ballers.
When they were really fucking.
I don't think Carl Ballers is probably worse than Penders at that kind of stuff.
Well, Bowler's he wrote some stories I really liked and some stories I didn't. Yeah. So I stopped reading when they went to high school, and I stopped reading when Sally slapped Sonic. Those were the 2 times when I stopped reading.
And I will say, as much as I love John Gray, he should not draw any dramatic.
Yeah.
Because that slap just came off hilarious.
I hate John Gray's artwork at the time. I hated his artwork. I could not get into it. But now, of course, I love his artwork. I still don't like it in that story, but I love it in the Angel Island story, which, unfortunately, I'd never read when it first came out. That probably would have kept me going if I just held on for that. But the slap just annoyed me so much that I just dropped the book. This comic book has been a part of my life for a long time. And of course, Jason, you're like 60 years old or something. Obviously you were not reading this when you were 8.
No, I wasn't reading it when I was 8.
I wasn't
reading the earliest issues because they were obviously very kiddie and full of puns. I came around like issue 50, basically.
I started reading it at issue 28. Released August 1995. My sister picked it up in a CVS and showed it to me. I said, yeah, sure. And then I got into Sonic the Hedgehog. But we're not here to talk about that. So anyway. So I am glad that they are not completely ditching the old continuity. The characters remember it. You know, the characters that matter remember it.
Yeah, the main Freedom Fighters are going to have their memories back. Tails is not sure if Uncle Chuck should get his memories back or not. Sonic and him discussed that for a little bit.
You sent me a page of Mutsky getting his memory back?
No, Mutsky didn't get his memory back at all. I made a joke that...
Oh, you...
oh my God, I can't believe
I was looking for that. Okay, that was actually that was a pretty funny joke from you. I applaud you.
Actually, the other joke I had is that Mutsky would send to Sonic a letter. He goes, "Dear Sonic, what I did to your leg was not out of love, but just out of a primitive instinct and impulse I had at the time."
So who drew that?
I apologize for that. That issue is done by, I think, Ryan Jampol with...
I remember...
Tracy Yardley doing what they call them, the outlines.
Okay, I think I'm misremembering the page that you sent me. So
yeah, but basically Mutsky's like a Mobian now. Although
yeah.
Oh, this is other news. Officially, Ian Flynn can't use the term Mobius in describing the planet anymore, which is really sad. And that's totally on Sega because that's Penders thing. That's not
Penders thing at all.
But
I'm sure Penders is still indirectly involved because Sega probably wants to dick as much of that stuff as possible because of his case. Anyway, but yeah, so Mutsky's a Mobian. King Acorn is no longer a douchebag.
And he's a squirrel. He's a lot more of a squirrel now than a squirrel chipmunk hybrid.
Well, he looks
a little. Well, yeah, but now he looks a little like Ray. He doesn't have like a foxtail. That's that big fat curly tail thing.
And I'm really happy that Antoine got his memory back. I'm wondering if they were married in that continuity.
Yes, they are. If you look at the page for I think 257 or something where Bunny's in, or is it 255? I don't know, but Bunny when she's got her fist clenched, she's got a ring on her finger.
Awesome. Okay, good. So it's not going to be like.
Well, Antoine is saying in 254, "Where's my wife? What's happening to her?"
But that was after he got his memory back.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if.
By the way, did you read on the Bumble Kings forum? What was the topic for a while called Sonic the Sociopath? Because some reader was worried Sonic wasn't mentioning he was worried about his parents or anything.
No,
because he was focused on. No, he was just mainly focused on the task at hand. But then in this issue, they cut that all out because when he saw Uncle Chuck, he just went nuts and grabbed him and gave him a big old hug and was crying a little bit. And but same with Antoine.
But he can't acknowledge his parents anymore, so. No.
But the way they
he's
handled
still
that
kind of sociopath.
Yeah, he does care. He's not a sociopath.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't care about losing his parents. I'm sure of that.
Well, I'm sure he does, but we can't.
That would be really sad.
Yeah. But also in that issue was Uncle Chuck's taking samples of whatever the purple energy is in the cracks in the earth, and Sonic breaks one of them and turns feral a little bit, and you can see a little bit of the werehog. What do you call it? Quills in the back, but then it goes back to normal.
So
Uncle Chuck wants him to see a doctor, and I think it's Spagonia. They mentioned that.
No, they're going to Spagonia. Uncle Chuck just wants him to see a doctor, I assume, in Knothole.
Yeah, maybe. Because, I did mention they wants to see a doctor. But if you look at that page, I could see his back quills start turning into that nightshade, I guess. I forget what they call it, but like a darker blue. But yeah, there is pretty much every indication that the next story after Countdown to Chaos, which is called The World Adventure, is a Sonic Unleashed adaptation, because Sonic Unleashed in Japan was called Sonic World Adventure. Plus, Ian Flynn, when he was doing the charity playing Sonic Lost World, announced that, Professor Pickle will be in the comics pretty soon, officially.
Oh, I admit that will be cool. But
so it looks like it's going to be a mix of humans regular Mobians, I guess. Or
Well, it looks
whatever
like
they're
that
called now. Talking
Eggman only has Mobians working. Furries working for him. So,
And they did mention Bo and the problems that what's his name's had with him, the snake.
Yeah, which does pretty much confirm that Robbo the Hex is gone.
Well, but it does help confirm that the Chaotix quest is still canon.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Ian Flynn stuff is still going to count as canon in this story.
Yeah.
But that was a nice action moment with Eggman. Have you?
Oh yes. Thank you for reminding me. That was
a whole
fun.
Aircraft carrier with a broken.
He was a badass.
He grabs a fighter jet instead and blows up the Eggmobile.
And yeah, you know what? People died in that. We'll just go ahead and say that.
You don't see it, but yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Just think about all those people below deck as that aircraft carrier is sinking. Ian has been getting violent lately. I mean, first all those people died, and now all those people. Now a whole aircraft carrier goes down. So, yeah, I mean, it's still an Ian Flynn story. It's still a lot of fun. It's got some nice drama and action.
That's one thing I wasn't worried about. I mean, it sucks that we're going to lose some of our favorite characters, but I'm not worried about the stories being bad because Ian Flynn is an awesome writer.
I'm going to come out and I'm going to say it. I would not have said this a few years ago, but because I still had some respect for him, I'm going to say it now. Ian Flynn is a much better writer than Ken Penders, and Ian Flynn served Ken Penders' characters much better than Ken Penders did. So it's a shame that the comic will be losing those characters, that those characters will be losing that exposure that they had. But, well, Penders wants to write his little stories that won't have Knuckles in them, but we'll just have all the characters that were built to be supporting characters to Knuckles. So I guess that's good for him. He can continue to tell his little stories without involving Archie.
And it looks like Archie will still be able to reprint older titles that had Penders stories in it and Penders characters. Because there are already some reprints coming out. I think the Knuckles Saga is finally the next set is coming out fairly soon.
And can I just make a crazy prediction and just say the Ken Penders comics are not going to sell very well? I'd be surprised if they...
Yeah, because they're only going to sell to the die-hard Sonic comic fans, and even only the ones who are forgiving of everything that's happened.
Pretty much his message board community. That's it. Like maybe 1,000 people, maybe a few hundred people. I mean, thank God he'll be doing all the art and writing himself. I hope he's able to keep those people coming back.
I have a feeling you'll be seeing him a lot more at conventions because that's where he's going to be selling this comic most of the time, I think, now.
Yes, I'm sure he'll also be selling those Archie covers that he should.
That he didn't write.
He shouldn't be selling those because I want to buy them from someone else. But it sucks what Ken Penders did to his own characters. But, oh well, at least Ian Flynn doesn't need those characters to write a good story, as he has been proving repeatedly over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like I said before, I'm on his side as far as the Sega EA case because those were his ideas that they basically took.
Yeah, but you know what? He wrote those ideas in a Sonic comic, which is licensed by Sega. So for all
Twilight Cage, Twilight.
I know. Yes, I agree. They're similar to his ideas, but he wrote them for a franchise that he does not own. So he does not get any sympathy from me. He wrote these stories for Sega. As far as I'm concerned, they are Sega's stories, and they are Sega's stories to do with as they please. Now, unfortunately, I guess Archie didn't have him sign the right legal documents, so that's not how. So that's.
Well, I think what it is they did, but all they have left is a copy. They don't have the originals, and that's how he won his case, as far as I know. You don't have all the details.
I hate even more. I mean, sorry. Now I'm even more annoyed with him if that's the case, if he pretty much just exploited Archie's own negligence in keeping those records on hand.
Well, whose fault is that? It's Archie's fault.
Yeah, it's Archie's, but that doesn't mean I can't be pissed off at Penders for taking advantage of that. Anyway, so I don't know if he.
I don't know. I think you're upset more about it than I am about it.
Well, yeah, because I loved the Knuckles series. I loved the Knuckles series when I was a kid. I have very fond memories of that. I used to say that Ken Penders was a good writer because of that series. Won't be saying it anymore. But yeah, I used to really like his stuff, and I used to really like those characters, but they're gone now.
Not all of them. I like Julie Sue okay, and like Linda. I didn't care that much for Remington or some of the other ones.
Screw you and your Skylander things.
Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for Comic Talk. We've discussed the comic to death and Ken Penders too.
Yeah, I pray if this show does not record, if something goes wrong.
Well, we tested the first audio and it all came out good.
We're just gonna say fuck it, and we're just gonna call episode 25 the last episode. We're just gonna post noise, the white noise. That's gonna be episode 24. Or we can just take all of our failed recordings, put them together in one long piece of shit.
And while we were talking just now, I was standing up and spinning around my room doing a bonus level from the 3DS Lost World, which is such a stupid thing.
Oh, be quiet. I enjoyed the one that I played.
I hate the bonus levels in this game.
I've only played the one, so I can't say I care for him that much. So I guess we really have nothing else to discuss in regards to those comics. We really just wanted to do it broadly. We really just wanted to discuss broad plot points of them anyway at this point, given how many issues there were.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot to cover.
But Ian Flynn, Tracy Arley, I hope they keep up their great work. And I hope
I don't know how Flynn finds the time to do all this stuff with all the books he writes. And then he just narrative by playing Sonic Lost World with a friend.
I have to applaud Ian Flynn for being able to navigate all of this without alienating me. That's really impressive. I hope.
There are going to be some fans that, no matter what, are going to be so pissed off they probably.
Well, there were fans who were pissed off that Locke died, and
I was pissed off that Locke died.
I was completely okay with that.
I think that's a lot of where Ken Penders started his lawsuit from. That was his favorite character, and before that, I mean, we didn't hear a word from Ken Penders until after Locke died. Like I said, it's not always about the money. I think he does have a strong love for his characters.
Yeah, but they were written for something that he doesn't know. So
right, okay, let's wrap up this episode for.
Yeah, we're done now. We're done. We're done back on Ken Penders.
Yeah, make sure to stick around for episode 25 with Aaron Weber.
And
always tune in here to SegaBits.com.
And by the way, we also have an art contest running. Now, you can check it out up in the features list or in any of the Art of Sega posts that I've written. You just have to submit a piece of art to segabitscontest@gmail.com. Now, I got to clarify something that I did not clarify in the post. I've been getting some very obvious photoshops and trace art. Now, I did not. I was purposefully. I purposefully did not rule out anything in the contest, but I will say that trace art and Photoshop art will be at the very, very bottom of anything considered for the contest. So I would advise that you try to do something original. That would be that would improve your chances of getting the grand prize significantly. And in the future,
try to be very creative. That's everybody loves creative activity.
I will. In the future, I will be specifically disallowing photoshopping art and tracing. But I didn't this time, and I said I can submit anything, and I can't go back on that. So, but yeah, I really don't like that. That's not the kind of art we were looking for. So I guess try to submit. Don't submit stuff like that, please. And that's it. We're done. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you didn't mind my various rants at things that I
think this one went at a good pace.
I suppose, aside from the parts you're going to edit out, where I guess I froze like a deer in the headlights and I couldn't talk because it was fucking 2:30 a.m. and I'm tired of doing this goddamn podcast over and over again. Oh yeah, by the way, I also got a Ryo Azuki statue from First Four Figures, and it was awesome. Yeah, and talked about that at length in the last episode that you will never hear.
I got me. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Or did I lose it already? I was moving stuff around in my room.
And while he's looking for that, I also got a free Mewtwo figurine for that Pokemon Rumble thing from my buddy over at Play and Trip.
Here we are. Let's see if you can hear this on the mic.
What the hell is that?
Power ring.
What's it for?
It's just a power ring. It's like a cosplay thing. You can buy it from Jet.
Wait. So it's a ring that makes noise?
Yeah, it's a full-sized. It's a life-sized power ring like Sonic would grab, and it makes that noise.
Are you gonna be dressing up? Are you gonna be cosplaying as Sonic at the next Comic-Con?
No, this is strictly just for fun. And I have a life-size Sonic plush. It's stuck in a garbage bag right now with a bunch of other plushes because I have no room in my room right now. But this can go well with him. And that's about it. Also, you can check out, like I mentioned in our little interview before, so check out the Sonic Revolution website on www.sonic-revolution.net if you're looking for a fan to get-together meeting around your area somewhere in the United States. Also, it's available on facebook.com/SonicRevolt.
So, see you next week, fellas, or the week after next. I don't know how the next show is going to go, but we'll be seeing you soon enough. See you later.
Okay, and we're out.